Horse racing fans, welcome back to Gallop Racer 2000 or Gallop Racer 3, however you would like to refer to it as. Haven't played this game in quite some time, need to get back into it, make some progress for sure, because we got some good things going on over here. Looking at our 4-year-old filly, Bless My Path, she is a in-house horse, and she comes into today on a 4-race winning streak with 2 back-to-back grade 2s, followed by 2 grade 1s. She is 9 for 12 in lifetime starts, so she'll be up today running in the Chicago Stakes. That'll be later in the card. We have a couple of races to go through today, and I'll go ahead and show you all the horses that will be competing today. So Bless My Path, she was one of them. First up will be 4-year-old filly, Courtly Navy, the stablemate, the Sprinter. She will be up participating in the Grade 1 Super Sprint Cup. As you can see here, 100 turf rating overall. Really fast girl. And, yeah, Courtly's been pretty fun. 6 for 6. We're undefeated with her, so fun is an understatement. She is at the peak of her career. So it's good that she's obviously in great running form. Ranked 8th overall. Her last wins, grade 2s, grade 1, Sprinters Cup, grade 3. And they've all been at 7 furlongs, so... It's another thing I need to make a note of for Courtly Navy. I'm just probably going to go ahead and put that in her thing. So, as we go on to our next running horse, which will be the 4-year-old colt, Arctic Crop. And I've struggled with Arctic Crop in this game for some reason, even though he's not at his peak. And usually that's not such a deterrent that it forces me to struggle with the horse, but for some reason, it's been a big deal with Arctic Crop, and it's really hampered my progress with how well he can be. Even though he's still ranked 5th overall, he won't be at his peak for another year. And again, I've only won 4 races out of his 11, which I love Arctic Crop, and I've usually been good with him across every game that I've had him. This is the first time in a game where I've kind of hit a wall with him for some reason. As you can see, he's only winning opens or grade 2s. The grade 1s, I'm struggling. And granted, he's still developing, so perhaps these are races that maybe a better jockey would be able to win, but me at my level with him, I'm struggling. I'm winning with everybody else and everyone else, but with Arctic Crop, I have struggled. You can see it's just a lot of mix of seconds, thirds, just kind of mix on the board. So we're going to try to get Arctic Crop a win here as he participates in the Grade 2 Boston Stakes. That'll be happening on today's card as well. And last but not least, the 3-year-old colt, Black Wonder, 6 for 8 in lifetime starts. In-house horse is Black Wonder. Some deep pedigree training here. If I could go through my spreadsheets, I could figure that out for you guys. Ranked 7th overall. Black Wonder, who are you related to? It's not showing up here, but he has been in the family for a while, so without a doubt, he is one of our newest horses. Hopefully, that's going to turn into a champion for us. So, with that being said, he will be up in a grade 2. Check out his latest results. Again, he was essentially on a winning streak right out the gates, breaking his maiden in opens. We moved him up to grade 2 class, down to grade 3 just for a tune-up, back up to grade 2, and then he's placed in the top 4 at the last 2 grade 1s, which the Azalea Cup is. The Azalea Cup can be, I think, one of the underrated, difficult domestic grade 1 races in this game. Typically, it's not a hard race, but sometimes you get competitive fields that can make it a hard race. And the same for the Golden Derby. 12 furlongs is no stretch. You really need a horse that can handle that and run it pretty quickly. Despite the slow pace for both of those grade 1s, you need to be able to handle it. And Black Wonder, as good as he's been, those are his 2 losses, his first 2 losses. So we'll have him coming back in a grade 2 tune-up to get him back into rhythm. But the great thing is this guy still is not at his peak. He's still a bit green. So the fact that he's still doing as well as he is, we could have a true champion on our hands. So that's what we got on the cards here today. So we'll go ahead and get into our first race here. And we'll see how this goes. But 7 furlongs seems to work for Courtly. But Courtly Navy, she is up here in the first grade 1 of the day, the super spread. It is a field of 12 running 6.5 furlongs on the turf. Field of 4-year-olds, 3-year-olds in the field as well. Weights between 123 and 127 for most of the field, with the exception of the 2-horse Silly Love. That 3-year-old filly, a little bit underweight with a 3-pound weight difference. We're not the favorite today. The 4-horse Eternal Mind, ridden by Sydney, is projected to win. So we'll go ahead and go quickly through the post-paddock, the paddock parade. Midas Style, that's the 12. Fast Groove is the 1-horse. No chance today. 2 is Silly Love, 3-year-old filly. And 3 is Solar Parade, one of the top 3 horses in today's field. That 3-year-old colt. Go on to the favorite right here, Eternal Mind, the 4-horse, 4-year-old colt, ridden by Sydney. Go to the 5-horse, that's Fresh Time, ridden by Hawkins, 4-year-old colt. Middle of the field, 6-horse Good Weapon, ridden by Chester, another 4-year-old colt. Pretty much same deal as the 5-horse there. You have the 7 here, Great Earth, ridden by Jakey's. Decent odds. Could surprise the field, this 3-year-old colt. Lemon Master, the 8-horse, ridden by Donaldson, 4-year-old colt. Definitely up there in the top 3. Flying Fan, ridden by Kong, 4-year-old filly. She certainly has a chance to be competitive. Big Shark, 4-year-old colt, ridden by Ross, no chance. Long Shot, and our girl, Courtly Navy. We are top 5. So we'll go ahead and see what we can do with Courtly Navy. My instructions are to keep Courtly Navy towards the back. Not in last place, but she's got a stalk here. And then try to have a really explosive burst as we hit the stretch. So those are the keys to success here today, to get Courtly Navy. Another grade 1. Let's see if we can get it done for the Super Sprint in Normandy. We are racing overseas for this. Out of the chute, straight down the track we go. Got to get a win here for Courtly. Got to kick it off with a bang here today. Hopefully I don't overthink it. And it's an okay start. Actually, pretty much a perfect start for Courtly Navy. I really don't have to do much with her. Just pretty much where she needs to be. And we'll go ahead and just kind of move her in right now. So happy Thanksgiving to any of you that celebrate. Happy holidays in general to anybody celebrating anything that you may celebrate or whatever the case may be. Because I should have this uploaded still on the same day. If not, it'll be within half a day at worst. So we got to get Courtly Navy going here. We're going to try to get her on a really, really late surge. Does she have enough in the tank to make it happen? Courtly Navy, she's pushing, she's pushing, she's pushing. We got a good gap, we got a good gap, we got a great run. Here comes Courtly Navy. She's going to do it. And what a run to kick off the day. Courtly Navy with the grade 1 super sprint. Oh, man, talk about holding it to the last minute. I almost thought I just kind of overdid it there with waiting so long. But talking about sending her on a true run there, Courtly Navy takes off the day with a bang. She wins the super sprint in convincing fashion. That is exactly how I needed it to be done. And she's a true sprint monster. So this is great. The sprint... I think out of all of the Gallop Racer games we're playing, this game, we've actually developed, I think, the most consistent line of sprinters across multiple families. Like, at least one family or every other family of, generations of horses has a sprinter that can absolutely send it. Courtly Navy, of course, one of the best in-game domestic horses for this. At this level, she goes ahead to nail the super sprint right there. To get that win, to kick off the card today. And that's exactly what she's supposed to do. She runs a perfect race, and, it's just one of those things where, obviously understanding your horse, holding them off until it's really time for them to go is the key. Now, I really waited till 2.3, which is what the game actually instructs you to do, and you guys know, for those of you that have at least been on this channel, I'm kind of more flexible with where you start your spurts for your horses. Depending on the horse and the quality of horse, the track, the quality of the field, you can start at different points and still win the race. The game insists that you must start at the same point every time, and it's not always necessary. This is one of those times where I just got her started at the perfect time. She went from last to first, essentially, cutting through the field. I was really hoping the lanes were going to clear, and she pokes right through to just nail it at the end. You talk about a true sprinting monster, the heart of a champion there. That is Courtly Navy to get it done. The mid pace, 333 and 7, both fractions for the first couple of furlongs and the last couple of furlongs. It's the exact type of result I want to have today. And she gets that done. That's a great result for Courtly Navy there. 20,000 points as well. That helps the bankroll surely. And the girl, Courtly Navy, gets it done. Knocks it out of the park like it's nothing. And even when you look at her star stats, the 4-star incline, the 4-star braking, okay, but she doesn't look that impressive as a sprinter, does she? Until you actually really pay attention to her turf sprint rating at a 94, that top blue bar. Yeah, and as a closer, that's what makes her dangerous. She's at her peak again. And she's 7 for 7. She remains undefeated off of that grade 1 victory. So, Courtly Navy right now, she is the star of today. She's the star of the barn with many others. But in this moment, she's absolutely on a roll. And I love Courtly Navy. She's been one of my favorite horses in this game, like Arctic Crop, like Sedate Ruler, like Desert Diver, to some extent, here and there, Western Tiger. So many horses. So, what an awesome result. We move on to Boston here for the grade 2 on the card, 10 furlongs. Kicking off with Arctic Crop. They say we have no chance to lose. So that means if I do lose, all of the pressure and all of the anxiety would certainly mount up to me overthinking it. But that's not going to happen. We're going to go ahead and lock this in. It's a grade 2 after all. And to look at the field doesn't really seem worth it because it's a lot of long shots in here. No one really has a chance except for the 1 and the 2 horse. We'll go ahead and check them out. Just to show you what our competition will be like. Inkjet, beautiful gray here, 3-year-old. Going off essentially a 4-1. Ridden by Alexander, post position 1. We'll have that inside leverage. And then the 2 horse with presumably the blinkers, but I don't know if there are actually blinkers on this horse. It might just be the mask. Can't tell, and I can't rotate this horse for some reason. 2 horse Farfog, ridden by Sturt. I can. Maybe those are blinkers. I can't tell if it's just green on. Okay, I think wearing blinkers, so that's the 2 horse we'll have to contend with. But that's about it. Otherwise, it's Arctic Crop's race to win and Arctic Crop's race to lose, and that's this 12-year-old beautiful guy right here. And I said 12-year-old. No, Arctic Crop is 4 years old. We're wearing number 12. My goodness, Eric. What are you saying? Oh, dear. Every video. Always something. All right, beautiful day here. I really love the colors and the aesthetics of the starting gate in this game. Obviously, for anyone that watches horse racing anywhere in the Asia circuits, especially Japan, it's pretty much exactly what it looks like, even still to today. So it's still a nice touch, no doubt. So top grade 2 contest here because you don't really have super long turns like you do at other tracks where you're kind of hanging around there for what seems like a furlong and a half. Let's see. It's okay. It might be just about a furlong as you kind of get onto the straight here. So it's pretty quick. I have to make sure that you're kind of in the right position. I've ran this race having my horses way out of position and it hurt us. Fast pace, 58 and 4. It kind of felt like we were moving pretty fast. So probably appears the long shots at the front. Anybody we're watching for? All of the horses expected to do well are here at the back. The field's going. We're going to go ahead and bide our time with Arctic Crop. Now we're going to go ahead and see if we can send them on a late inside drive here. Here we go. Oh, is that Inkjet? That's Inkjet right there. Arctic Crop's got to make a move. Oh, that would be an inquiry, but this game, it doesn't matter. I had to get through. It's so cartoony about this game, but like you have to do it because the AI will just hog the lanes. They'll remain blocking them, and it's like you would be bound to win the race like that by 5 furlongs, but just because of the AI completely blocking you. I'm not doing that to legitimately like cheat and like get in the way. It's literally like if the AI was responsive like they are in more modern racing games, like they would be able to adapt and move aside. They still race you tough. You know, they would squeeze you, but they wouldn't squeeze you to the point where there's not a gap. You know, but this game was made in like the late 90s. So obviously it's been a couple decades since the programmings and just the general thinking of AI responsiveness in video games has changed. But it doesn't matter. Arctic Rob gets it done, nails that grade 2 by 2.5 over Inkjet, followed by Grand Ruin to round off your top 3. Yeah, Inkjet was the problem, and Far Fog rounded to come back into 4th. So it pretty much went exactly as it did. Fast pace, 58 and 4th, first 5 furlongs. Last 3 furlongs went in 37 and 1. Arctic Crop crushes that for us today. And makes that look easy. And like I said, there was no chance we were losing that race. It's pretty much bang on here, man. It's a good day at the office, so it's 2 for 2 to kick off the card. And then we'll be rolling to the Chicago Stakes for Bless My Path, 4-year-old filly who's been hot as of late as well. 6,400 points adds to the bankroll. We have 295K. I have to be honest, we're going to take a break in the action to go ahead and look at the shop to see if there's any horse valuable worth picking up. Forever Crop, let's see. 6 to 10 furlongs. Oh, you're so mid. You're not even worth it. For 100K, even with that lathe growth type, not worth it. Yeah, you're not worth 100K. No way. Shuggy Yuggy. Oh, Shuggy Yuggy is kind of a community favorite horse. Considering what people can do with Shuggy Yuggy, I think Shuggy Yuggy is actually worth the price of 90K. I think that's actually like a good one. Forever Crop should really be like 60 or 70K. I'm not even going to lie to you. And that's no disrespect to Forever Crop. Even if it seems like I'm disrespecting it. I'm not. Just saying not worth 100K. Now, even Link, worth 140K. I think so. That stamina for Turf and Dirt is good there. Essentially at 82, 10 to 14 furlongs, 4 stars pretty much across the board. So high quality horse and decent growth type, average for the most part. Peaks at 4, dips off at 5. Price a little bit steep, but even Link is a quality horse, and you can build a lot of good lines just from him. So I do like even Link. 200K though, actually, and I say a bit steep. I suppose it depends on what part of the game you're at when you want to do breeding, and that's something I'm going to try to emphasize more. Because the good thing about this game is these points are hard to come by, so that's part of the grind that I enjoy about this version of Gallop Racer compared to any of the other titles. It's a grind to be able to acquire new horses. It's not just easy where you can just pop out 8 a year and then just do as much breeding as you want. Not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm saying if you actually want to grind Gallop Racer and have a little bit more of a challenge that's actually built in-game, that mechanic with the points does work. So you're not just spending your points recklessly. You are limited. So as much as I like Even Link, 217K, I mean, I would have to hope that I have the best, potential long-term broodmares for this guy. And I don't... Sweet Storm, possibly? In-house horse right now, 18 for 19 or 18 for 18? No, 18 for 19 lifetime starts. Our best horse on track in the barn. Maybe she could be paired with Even Link, and we could continue the strength of that pedigree. It might be worth it. Oh man, you see, the problem is we have a race in September, so Even Link is only going to be here presumably for the rest of this month. So if I need your guys' advice, I'm going to have to stop this particular video before the end of the month, because that's a big decision, because that's most of my points. That would leave us with about 70K to start back up. And granted, I'm not worried. We have winners, so we'll get back up. But it's like, are we really going to make that big of an investment? And that means buying Even Link with this much money. He's a big-time investment. That means I have to do well. I have to win essentially 92% of his races or more for the investment to pay off, I think, well. Quick math. So, yeah, we need to do exceptionally well for that to pay off. So, yeah, I think we're going to run the Chicago Stakes, the last grade 1, and then that'll end it here. Because I definitely want to get your opinions on that. I'll go ahead and post this in the Discord as well. It's a pretty big decision. And then we look at the rest of these horses. Common Death. Okay horse. Good conditioning. You can race Common Death a lot. Beautiful colt as well. And good growth type, pretty sustained. Doesn't have a major drop off. So this is a horse you can race a long time, hence the 5-star conditioning. So at the price tag of 64K, that would also be a good investment. But again, you add those up. 64s, 17, that's like 81. Yeah, if I bought both of these colts, that would put us at remaining of about 15,000 points. So that would put us really, really low. But I think the investment would be worth it. So Even Link is the horse I'm thinking on, folks, here. At 217K. And then Common Death as well. I like this build. I like the quality. Pretty average. Not great on the dirt overall. So this just is a solid turf horse. If we want to get a good turf line going as a closer as well. Fast spurt. Long sustained growth type. You can race this guy until he's 8 years old, basically. I think he's a good long-term investment. So I think that's it that we'll look at for the colts. Let's go ahead and check out the fillies, the ladies. Let's go ahead and just check out number 1 on the board. Welsh Blair. I swear I used Welsh Blair. Abigail, if you're listening or watching, can you tell me if we've used Welsh Blair probably like really early in the series? Because I swear I feel like I'm getting some weird deja vu that we have, but I cannot recall. Average growth type for this gal. Gosh, too familiar. I swear we've used her, but I could be wrong. I swear we used her like really early in the series. But we'll move on. She's 57K. I think her price tag makes sense. That's not too bad. Alien Link. I love the name. Going off at 105K here is this 2-year-old filly. 4 stars across the board. 9 to 12 furlongs. 92 turf rating overall. So another turf monster, essentially. And average growth type. Kind of like an elevated version of Welsh Blair, to be honest with you. Technically a twice as good version. And more or less, yeah, I think that's about fair. So the fillies seem to be better priced, which makes sense. They always usually are. 6 to 9 furlongs here for Great Parade. 2-year-old filly, beautiful gray. She can run on the turf well, of course, and the dirt is okay. Still not ideal. Long growth type. So she's more of a long-term project. 65K. I dragged that down a little bit, but I guess that's okay. Simple Moon, 78,000 points here. Speed monster on the turf. Also fast on the dirt a little bit. 5 to 8 furlongs. Not good conditioning. So not a horse you're going to be able to race a lot, this 2-year-old filly. But really explosive. So she's a horse you try to win probably, a couple titles with in quick succession. Okay. Awful Tap. I want to say, are there any good gems down here, like at this price range of 1,600? You know, I would definitely buy a couple of these horses right now just to give us some depth. You know, if it meant giving us... Awful Tap, we've used her. She's back already. Wow. I like Awful Tap because her stamina's okay. Her speed is awful, though. And she's a front-running pace setter, so... The way to take advantage of her, really, is to probably just keep her a couple lengths ahead of the field at all times because she has the stamina to do it. I'm not going to lie, I really am considering Awful Tap because if I can actually turn her into a solid grade 3, winning horse, if she can compete at grade 3s. If it's only opens, that's not great, but her winning more races will help overall, despite her speed being bad. This is more of an endurance line. And again, remember, us building these endurance pedigrees and these endurance generations, we're going to cross that with sprinters once we have enough of them going. That's what's going to create the super horse. Okay, we're getting to the point where we're going to start merging the paths of the sprinting pedigrees we have going on and the endurance. Not all of them. We're obviously going to keep some for just the foundation exclusively to their specific role. But when we're going to start breeding some of the occasional generations together to create that horse that has, exceptional endurance from one side, exceptional speed from the other, she could be a good part of that process again. I might go ahead and snatch Awful Tap up. I think that's a good investment. Kinky Bell, she's at 4,500 here. Not great heart, and her stats aren't great for her price tag. That's not a good deal for me. Chili Arrow. Sorry about that. She's going off 10K. Good stamina as well. Slow spurt, so it takes a while to get her going, and she's a closer. That means you really got to take your time getting her going from the back. Or actually, you have to get her going sooner from the back before everybody else gets going. If you can nail that, she has a chance. Almost a 4-star horse. She's probably like 3.7 stars, I would say, average. That's not terrible. She peaks immediately, so that means if you don't get her dialed in right away, you might be wasting a bit of her potential. At 10K, yeah. Suave Master. I've used Suave Master. Then, like, it kind of tainted a little bit of the pedigree in regards to the quality of horses we could have really got. Deep Romance I like. 2-year-old filly. Decent speed. Good conditioning. You can race her a lot. She's going to race with the front runner. She doesn't want to take the lead, but she'll certainly be there contending. She's good-tempered, so you don't have to worry about her bucking on you. And average growth type. Deep Romance going off at 27K, a little bit steep. I like her. I really might want to pick up Awful Tap again. I mean, she has an average growth type, so I still have a couple races to get her dialed in. Like I said, her star ratings are bad. Like, her lowest star rating is a 3. There are horses with 2 stars we just looked at. And she's obviously not a speedster. She's endurance. I think she sets a good foundation. Even if I have a colt that overachieves, in his career, we would retire him to stud. And she does well enough. I mean, we could definitely get another quality horse right there to create another new generation that you guys will obviously be able to have new named horses from after we, race her and then retire her for breeding. Like, that'll start a new generation of custom horses we can have. I'm going to pick Awful Tap up because of the price. Like, why wouldn't I? In fact, I should probably do that a little bit more often. For horses that are, like, under 3K, I think the value of Awful Tap is well worth 2,000 points. Like, you have to be honest with yourself. So, that's it for the fillies. And over here, Sudden Beat. Let's see if I'll see a gem here in Sudden Beat. 9 to 8. The star ratings is not encouraging, but I got to tell you, the endurance horses are popping up. I feel like usually in my games, like, it's hard for me to find quality endurance horses, so forgive me for feeling like a kid at the candy shop where I just have to snatch them up while they're here because they just don't pop up in my games enough when I play Gallop Racer. It's always, usually horses with decent speed figures, moderately, but like the endurance horses, like, they rarely pop up, or they're just really bad. Like the endurance doesn't even, rationalize the idea of making a purchase for them. The star ratings aren't good for Sudden Beat, but that's not his purpose. It's ironic. Him and Awful Tap could actually work together because their speed is about as bad as equal to one another. He has the longer endurance of 9 to 18 furlongs. Not great star rating, but also likes to run towards the front. You're talking about we're getting potentially a super, super well-endurance front-running horse from Sudden Beat and Awful Tap. And he has a sustained growth type, and that means his generation, the offspring, the way it works in this game, they should inherit that type of growth type. Okay, these decisions I'm making on behalf of myself as chairman. Okay, I'm not chairman. I'd like to make a purchase. Can I not? Oh, we may not have the space. Oh, right. I think I might be stuck on space. 10 horses, I forgot. You're limited in this game. Wow. Well, in all honesty, considering the quality of broodmares we have now, I think continuing to add more would be great. We actually need more sires, but it was special pool. She was okay. Raced her a lot, 12 for 30, max Gallop Racer rank only 14. Certainly could have done better. I underachieved with her. Camp's Crown just unlocked her instantly. Like, I couldn't even race her. She was just unlocked for breeding. And we've done a bunch of breedings and generations previously, like regenerations, and we got there was no good horses that came from her. So I'm still so anxious about doing breeding with Camp's Crown. I'm really going to have to use her with a horse that, like, we don't have much expectations tied to. That way, if it doesn't work out, we're not bummed, because to use a really, really good sire or stud with her and then the horse doesn't come out great, that's a waste of both. You know what I mean? And we can't have that. So, yeah. I would love to get sudden beat. That 9 to 18 is great. I almost feel like I should have picked him up instead of awful tap, to be honest with you, because that endurance is monster, man. Like, truthfully, it is. I would almost be curious in pairing a horse like him with... Oh, I'm just thinking out loud here before we get to our last race. Sorry about this, but not delete. Don't want to do that. Cam's Crown. Ugh. Awful Tap. Are we keeping you? I still like Awful Tap a lot. And she has the better star rating, so she's stronger overall as far as the quality is concerned. But technically speaking, you do get more value with sudden beat. Hate to do this to Awful Tap. Could I just retire her? Could I do that? Just instantly? Ah, not Hell Ruby. Could I retire you? Yes. Yes. Oh, wow. I'm sure that, like, that's a well-known thing. I just really, like, obviously don't do it. I probably never have, because I can't remember if I have. Okay, so we just retired Awful Tap, so we can use her for breeding. Okay, well, you know what? I think that works out, actually, because I still think with a horse, again, that's just kind of like a no expectations that type of horse attached to it, we can just hope for something unique, and we can build from there, right? That's a lot of what we've done in this game. We've had success, because Sudden Beat, I definitely think, is a horse not worth passing up on. So we're going to go ahead and snatch off, Sudden Beat up. Maybe we'll use him with Awful Tap or Cam's Crown. You guys let me know. And also still let me know on the decision on whether or not we should acquire Even Link and Common Death. I think we'll still have a chance to get them. No, this is the last week. Ooh, you know what? We're going to stop it here. We have a grade 1. That's where we'll kick off next time, because this is an important decision. If we're going to nab these two horses up, possibly, it also means me having to maybe have an early retirement for one of these horses. Maybe like a Fast Navy, even though I think he's technically at his peak now, supposedly. Kind of on the decline. So that would mean an early retirement for him or an early retirement for Ice Crash, which wouldn't be a bad idea, because I don't think Ice Crash is going to get any better. I think I'll try to win as much as I can with him. But it does mean that if we want to make room for those two horses I just mentioned, we could retire Fast Navy and Ice Crash early. That's 2 quality studs. We could get breeding done as well. So there's definitely some options there. That makes sense. I'm not just making it up. Like, again, I think it's just a matter of winning more races with Ice Crash, trying to figure it out. I'm only 5 for 15 with him. GR rating 6. He's definitely, you know, competed in quality races, but that's about it. So yeah, I'm not sure what we should do, but you guys feel free, if I could say that. So let me know your thoughts. Comment section below. Should we make that purchase? Have an early retirement for Ice Crash and Fast Navy. And, you know, if we retire those two, think about the breeding we could already do in the next video. We could use Cam's Crown finally. We could even use Awful Tap, or we could use Special Pull. We have a choice. In fact, I would let you guys decide, because I'm kind of indifferent. I'm always about the experimentation of breeding. That's the most fun part to me, and I like more of the community's involvement in seeing what we could get. That is more enjoyment for me personally. There's maybe the occasional breeding combination I may want to look at a little bit more closely, but like for everybody that we're considering now, like I'm totally, you know, fine with you guys kind of deciding what we should do, because I couldn't even tell you what I have a preference for anyways. Not really. You know, like we could, I mean, if you want to look at the horses now, since we're here in this video, here's Fast Navy for you. So 85, 83 stamina for turf and dirt, 106 overall total rating. But if you're looking at the stamina rating for turf and dirt individually, yeah, he can run essentially on any surface. He's best on the turf, of course. You see the star ratings, you see his running style towards the back. 10 for 19, GR3, a little bit on the decline, and when I say a little bit, that means he's just losing maybe a step or so, as far as his speed is concerned. Still extremely competitive. We could retire him now, and we could use him to obviously help generate a new line of horses with Cam's Crown or Special Pool. Again, Fast Navy is the type of horse where you don't want to breed him with Cam's Crown, hoping for an all-star horse, and then you end up getting a horse that's not, the quality of horse you'd expect, right? So that's why I'm a little bit nervous about taking a horse like Fast Navy with Cam's Crown. Yes, it would give us a really good chance of getting a superstar horse, but it's a lot of stakes involved in that, so I don't know what to do. So we'll hold off on Fast Navy, but he is up for potential retirement. And Ice Crash here, 4-year-old colt. As you can see, pretty much similar in regards to Fast Navy. Really good stamina on turf and dirt. That's his cream of the crop. Not fast on the dirt, so you want to keep him on turf. And his star rating's not bad as well. 5-star incline. Same running style. He's 5 for 15 at his peak right now. Finished 9th last time out, so he's a horse that we could probably breed with, again, any of the brood mares, technically. We could combine him and Cam's Crown and see what could happen since we don't have any expectations. But would he tank the potential quality of the horse if we look back at Cam's Crown and the brood mares? Just to give you guys one more look, because you are just as immersed in this process to help me make a decision. And technically it'd be your decision, so I'm okay with that. Look at Cam's Crown. She can run anywhere, so pace doesn't really matter. You see her star rating. You see her stats. She's not even like, don't get me wrong, she's an awesome horse. She's really, 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 really good. She's 4 stars. She's technically 4 stars and a quarter. Or 4 stars and 4 stars and a quarter, basically. Really good stamina. Now, if I were to breed her with Ice Crash, similar growth types, she's stronger in all the other categories, but again, not fast on the dirt. She just has a 16-point advantage in the speed on the dirt. They're not too far. Now, her and Fast Navy are more alike in their stats, technically, but Ice Crash isn't far off either. So those are both 2 potential future studs we could use. But I'm not doing the regeneration things. I'm kind of sick of Cam's Crown just sitting in here because I'm not going to rerun my saves 50 million times to try to get the best horse unless we try to simulate some breeding of we've tried the pair and it's just not working, if we RNG it a bit, kayfabe, whatever you want to say, role play, that's a whole different thing. Are we doing that? Probably not, right? So let's just go ahead and just try to use her with one of our studs and just hope for the best. And if it doesn't turn out, yeah, it's kind of sucks that it's a waste, but it's a shame that but that's real life. That's RNG, man. Sometimes you take champions and they don't produce champion offspring. That happens all the time, every day across the world. It's nothing new. So if we're trying to keep some realism, we need to keep that aspect alive, I think. And Special Pool here, not bad. Now, she's faster on the turf for speed, and her stamina is good on either surface, but you ideally want to keep her on the turf if you want to be competitive. 102 rated, 12 wins, 30 starts. Using her in Fast Navy could be interesting. I really think any of the breeding pairs we do could turn out interesting. Even Awful Tap, I just bought her and retired her already as a 2-year-old filly, which is nuts, but again, decent horse. We could breed her with Ice Crash. That would probably give us a horse with better endurance. The speed might suffer since she has no speed at all. And that's the only downside with her. I would have to really probably breed her with a really fast speed horse or just another horse with good stamina like her. Because any horse that's middle of the road, it could tank those stats. So, probably want to hold off with Awful Tap, but it's Special Pool, Cam's Crown we're looking at. So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, what we should do, and that's what we'll get going for the next video. Appreciate you guys for love and support. As always, happy holidays. Much love and thank you for the support on the channel, in the community as always. A lot of updates coming. We are obviously updating things in the Discord. If you're not in there, feel free to join. Links in the description box below. Chill vibes for everybody. All is welcome. So just just be chill and have a great time. Great conversation, lots of horse racing games and just general fun talks. And a lot of updates will be coming to the videos as well. I've been doing that myself in the background, so that's why there's been a lack of uploads. So just know that there are things coming. They should be done in the next couple of weeks at the latest, but I've been constantly working. And it's going to be an overhaul of everything, like a complete overhaul of the channel. and a lot of stuff. Some of it may be unrecognizable to some, but it's been long coming. I've been doing this a long time, and sometimes you do need to kind of, go through that transition period. So I think now is the time for that as I transition the content and what we're doing and being more immersed in this community aspect of playing games and getting you guys involved. So yeah, I think it's time for all that stuff, and just hoping that it's a great experience for everybody as well along the ride. So yeah, we'll go ahead and roll on, and we'll be back with some more horse racing gameplay and content very soon. HRG signing out. Have a great fantastic day. I'll see you later, and goodbye.